want to talk to you today about the fear of saying no. Have you ever overcommitting to things or overcommitting to people, overcommitting to project, and you find yourself burnt out? You find yourself like putting everything that you want to do in a back burner, or you step into someone's responsibility or leadership because you don't want to disappoint people. You just feel like it's you that needs to be there. If you're not there, things are not going to work out. So you keep saying yes, 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 yes when you mean no, 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 no. Okay. So we're going to talk about these. There's three main fears that I want to talk to you about. The fear of saying no. The very first fear that we have is the fear of failure. Believe it or not, fear of failure is one of the reasons why we say no to things. I mean, we say yes to things we're supposed to be saying no to. So why is that, right? Well, the fear of failure comes from you feeling, you'll say yes because you feel incompetent. And when you feel incompetent, then what you're gonna do, nobody wants to feel incompetent. So you're going to want to say yes to things so people don't look at you as a failure or as incompetent. But what that leads to though is burnout. You're going to be burnt out. Why? Because you're going to keep saying yes and yes and yes, and you're going to just really burn yourself out because you're doing too much. Okay. The second thing is the actual fear of other people's frustration. You're afraid you're going to frustrate it or disappoint people, right? So this is where you fear, like, man, people's reaction. If I say no, what's going to happen? If I say no, what are they going to react? Are they going to be angry? If you really think about it, when we grew up, we had to say yes to pretty much everything we that our parents asked us to do. So now, when you have an authority figures, you want to say yes at all time. So that's one of the reason. The second reason why we are afraid of saying no. The last reason is really we're feared that we're going to be fading away. What does that mean? We fear that we're not going to be relevant in people's life if we say no. We're going to miss out. We're not going to be making that impact. And for me, it's really a fear of abandonment. I feel like I'm going to abandon people or they're not going to be able to do anything without me. And I'm not going to be relevant in their life anymore. So these three fears really turn to what they do. They create burnout, as I just said. It also creates bitterness towards yourself and other people that because of their expectation. And then it also creates a blurry boundary where you don't even know the difference between your personal needs and people's expectation. So that's why we don't want to keep doing that. So those are the things that I've realized in my life where I say no to things when I'm supposed to say yes. Okay. So how do we kind of fix that? The very first thing, you need to cultivate confidence in your choice. What I mean by cultivating confidence in your choice, you need to really count the cost before you commit to a choice. Because the more you say yes to something that you're supposed to say no to, you're going to say no to your dreams, your goals, your family, the things that are important to you. So just remember a yes is a no to somebody else, either you or somebody else, and a no is a yes to someone else. And a lot of times a no would be a yes to you. So just make sure that when you make a commitment, you create a choice, make sure that you count the cost of that choice and try to realize that, hey, you know what? Am I saying yes to someone, but am I dismissing my health, dismissing my wealth, dismissing my dreams? What am I doing? Or my family? Okay. The second thing you want to do is you want to communicate clearly without compromise. You want to communicate clearly without compromise. What does that mean? When you communicate clearly, communicate what you want and what you don't want, which is your boundaries really, without compromising. Meaning don't give that door like an extra door, like, oh yeah, maybe you guys could do this. Maybe you could call me at this time. You're still not cutting all the strings. Sometimes you need to cut off strings and just be like done with a project or done with something without, like, I know for me, I'll say things and then I'll say, well, you could always call me this time. I basically always give myself a door for them to come back in. Remember, if you give people a door to violate your boundary, they'll always go through that door. Okay, so you want to make sure that you're complete and you close any loopholes that you give when you set your boundaries. And then lastly, what you want to create is a balance and also a boundary to your commitment. You want to create a balance to your commitment and boundaries. What do I mean by that? A balance is you want to make sure that you're not overcommitting And you also want to understand the difference between delegation, doing it yourself, and delete. So whenever I have a project, I need to understand that sometimes I'm not the best person for this project. Maybe what I get to do is to send them to someone else. Maybe I need to delegate this project to somebody else. Maybe I just need to stop being in this project and delete myself out of this project. Or maybe it is my responsibility to take over and do it. But I won't ever get there if I am not, number one, I don't cultivate confidence in my choices, or do I not, if I don't communicate clearly without compromise and confuse people. When I get to that point, then I could actually create a balance and boundaries with my commitment. So that's what I wanted to share with you. Thank you so much for watching this. Do comment. I do watch the comment, and thank you for being a part of this group. Take care.